We could still talk about Nancy Pelosi here, but let me just. She refused to commit last night to delivering the articles of impeachment to the Senate, citing concerns about, get this, an unfair trial on removing President Trump from office. Senior Democratic aides say the House was very unlikely to take the steps necessary to actually send the articles to the Senate. I have to tell you, if you want to impeach the president, impeach the president. But you have so, no pun intended, trumped everything up. You have accused him of everything but murder. You continue to say you have the facts, you have the case, and then it turns out you don't have the case. And so you have to come up with an article of impeachment of what was it, defying Congress, or what was that one, Stu? They have abuse of power and then
obstruction of Congress.
Obstruction of Congress, not an obstruction of justice, an obstruction of Congress. That's not even a thing. If you are a co-equal branch, you can obstruct Congress. You have to take it to the Supreme Court. And that's what Donald Trump was saying. That's what the Republicans were saying. Some of the people who wanted to testify said, I've got one branch telling me to testify. I have another branch that is equal telling me not to testify. I need the third branch to tell me what to do. If the third branch would have had a chance to rule on it, one way or another, then you could say you're obstructing justice if the president didn't move and the court system said he had to. But you don't have obstruction of justice. It doesn't exist with three equal branches.
Obstruction of Congress, yeah. And it's interesting.
Yeah, obstruction of Congress.
There was one Democrat that voted yes on the abuse of power, but no on obstruction of Congress. There was one singular Democrat.
This is a Soviet-style court. That's what's happening. I'm trying to remember what they called them. They were like phone courts, Soviet phone courts, where the judge actually had a phone right next to his bench. And at any time, the phone could ring, and the premier would be on the other end, and he's like, he's guilty, rule now. Okay, guilty, 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 execute now. That's what this is. And you can tell by the sound effects that are being tested on the stand. I'm sorry, we're backstage right now in West Palm for Turning Point USA. So if any of the dramatic movie, it's because I'm starring in a new film called Sharknado, and it's happening right now. Oh my gosh, the sharks are coming! Ah! Okay, so you're just going to have to put up with this in the background. They are running. This is ridiculous now.
It's funny, though. It makes it seem like you're making a really important speech.
It does.
Like the aliens have invaded and you're about to inspire Randy Quaid to stop them.
Right. I think this is my walkout music tonight. I'm giving a speech. I told them to make me sound like almost a god. And I think they've done a pretty good job of it, quite honestly. Okay, good. Now, the Democrats, to have Nancy Pelosi, everything they've accused Donald Trump of, they have done themselves. They accused him of colluding with a foreign government to influence our election. They did that in Ukraine. How do we know? We have it on tape. We have a recording made of the guy who is the head of the Anti-Corruption Bureau, which was run by the Obama administration and spooky dude himself. And it was the State Department's little toy over in the Ukraine that told them what they could prosecute and what they couldn't. So we have the head guy on tape at a bar talking to somebody saying, yes, this is what I did to throw election for Hillary. We worked together and we did these things. Convicted, 2 convictions in Ukrainian court for tampering with the U.S. election. So they say they colluded, Donald Trump colluded. Well, no, the Mueller report showed, no, he didn't collude. And more on the Mueller report as that comes out. I'll tell you about this here in a few minutes. So they colluded. Then, what else did they say? Abused power. Just to destroy his opponent in 2020. Okay, let's say that's true. But when you know how the FBI, under the Obama administration, and with members of the DOJ, State Department, CIA, and what they brought to the FISA court, what is that? Is that not trying to smear and destroy their political opponent in 2020? The Democrats have done this for the last 3.5 years. They have used their power and their offices to destroy a man they know they're not going to be able to beat. Instead of actually listening to the people and giving the people a good option, they've run this socialist thing that is so out of touch with America. They have praised anybody who spits on the flag. They have praised anybody who is teaching that our founders are old, white, racist slave owners. They have preached that the Constitution is an old, dusty document that cannot possibly relate to our times. Wait a minute. And now you're preaching the exact opposite? They've conspired with the FBI, the State Department, with the aid of the Oval Office under Obama, with the help of Hillary for president and the DNC to smear, accuse, lie, literally forge documents submitted to a court, illegally obtain FISA warrants. They have spent millions of your tax dollars as funding for this, I believe, secret anti-Trump operation. They used official government resources to fraudulently accuse, smear, and destroy their 2020 opponent. They have used their offices to coordinate radicals, NGOs, foreign governments, universities, unions, and the vast majority of the press as, dare I say it, co-conspirators in a relentless campaign against a sitting, duly elected president of the United States, who, by the way, if I might remind you, I was not for. I still don't like many things this president does. Personally, I really don't agree with him. I really appreciate some of his policies. I try to call it as I see it. I really thought collusion with Russia was a real possibility. It didn't happen. They have taken their oath of office to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, which this is going to be an important and scary one and quite dramatic, you can tell, because the music is starting again, I think. Oh, good. Maybe the call is coming from in the house. Oh, boy. So let me read it this way. The members of our U.S. Congress have used their oath of office to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States, which explicitly states in its preamble that the government should promote domestic tranquility. Has your Congress done that? Are members of the U.S. House promoting domestic tranquility and bringing us closer together as a nation? Or are they doing the exact opposite of promoting tranquility in every possible way and every possible opportunity? I say you let the music stand. I think you let the music speak for itself. I think that's God. I'm not sitting backstage while they're just trying out different things. No. If you're hearing music, it's coming from God, because I don't hear any music. They have done the exact opposite in promoting tranquility, and they've done it every possible way at every possible opportunity. One of the things, They claimed in 2016 that Donald Trump would destroy the faith of the American people in our free and fair elections, claiming everything from an unprecedented attack on our most sacred institutions to an act of hostility approaching sabotage that we would only expect from a foreign agent. Yet they themselves claimed that the election was stolen right after the election and that Trump was an illegitimate president, that he was somehow or another a foreign agent. Is anyone going to be held responsible for any of this? You want the trial? You impeached him. Let the trial happen. This is an unconstitutional act. You are not promoting domestic tranquility. Period.